I don't screw that up. Sound is on.
Sound on.
And then I have to hit fade. And that's a show.
Are we here?
We are.
Are we live?
We are. Welcome to the program, everyone. Here we go. Hey, live from Lewiston, Idaho, with both of us together. The same studio. The same time. Same bat place.
Well, yeah. The same bad place. It's not the same bad time.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, because this is a Friday evening. Black Friday evening.
We used to do Friday shows.
We actually did, yeah. That is true.
Basically an hour before this time.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Welcome to the program, everybody. Wow. We're live at 5:36-ish. It is Black Friday. So that's why Zach is in town, because Thursday was Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope it was lovely. I hope you had some turkey.
Hope you aren't a Cowboys fan.
Hope you aren't a Cowboys fan.
By the way, the Hang In There Baby is showing over our pictures right now. I don't know why. It just did it. I don't know what's up with that.
I'm gonna go back now. Maybe I always had it on there.
Well, maybe you always had it on there.
That's what I mean. And then, like, I always had our picture up, and then I switched to the thing, and it was
That's
wrong.
what you did. You did the opposite.
My bad.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. The Hang In There Baby was never there.
Oh, my bad.
So you just clicked the wrong scene.
Well, hey, everybody.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
And there's people hopping in on
And
this.
the edits on this are going to be weird, I guess. But that's okay. Wait, just live your life. If you're tuning in now, it's live and you have sound.
Yeah, so be happy about it.
Be happy about it. We're here. We're rusty. I've never been good with the equipment, and I'm still rusty on it, so give me time.
Yeah, and you don't get better at stuff that you're not doing.
That's true.
But we're living our truth.
That's true. I tweeted about this thing. We, on this show, not only talk about sports, we also talk about the technologies that go into how we watch our sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I re-upped YouTube TV, where we've been using it. It's nice having it back. I love YouTube TV. Probably not going to cancel it again now. I'm probably just going to keep that sucker. Keep it strong. But I did just get Disney. I got Disney Plus. I did do it.
Welcome to the club.
Because it comes with, I did the bundle.
Nice.
Hulu and ESPN Plus.
It's so cheap that way.
I did it with you send me the $20.
Yeah.
I just do that. I just use that PayPal account.
Right.
So I won't even ever see it.
It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud.
I don't think you're using that right. In the cloud. No, it's in the cloud.
But what was cool was when I was on ESPN Plus, I wanted to watch an episode of Sports Center. Because I wanted to watch some highlights like yesterday morning. Before I went to Thanksgiving stuff, I missed stuff from Wednesday. I wanted to see some highlights. So I went on ESPN Plus to watch an episode of it, and they have you put in your cable provider, and I was like, oh, God damn it, I don't have cable.
Right.
They recognize YouTube TV as a provider.
Mm-hmm.
So I put that in, and it worked.
Right.
But that's the first time I've seen that in a while. I mean, I haven't seen that on other devices. That's got to be a newer-ish thing.
I honestly just started seeing it for the first time like a week ago.
So
very new.
These other platforms are recognizing YouTube TV as a cable provider now,
right?
Which is excellent.
So now you'll be able to use it for like the FX app or the NBC app or whatever.
Right, and I think Adult Swim. I think that's free anyways. But a lot of those make you enter your cable provider, so you can't get it for free.
Right.
But I'm always like, well, I have YouTube TV. I could watch these things if I recorded them DVR or whatever. But I just don't.
Yeah.
But I want to watch it now. So if that's gonna be the first one to recognize it, man, I welcome all the other ones to recognize.
Right, they should,
because it's awesome, and that is my cable provider. I don't have cable TV. I don't know anyone who does.
No.
Unless they're old.
If you do, and you're watching this, you're old. So.
But anyway, that was cool. So I tweeted yesterday. I said, ESPN Plus, you're the real MVP, recognizing YouTube TV as a cable provider, so that I can watch the show, so I can get caught up. I just wanted to, just a quick, for one thing in the mornings on, so yesterday morning, Dan Patrick wasn't on. So I was kind of excited to get up and maybe watch Dan Patrick since I had the day off. And I was like, oh shit, it's Thanksgiving.
Right.
None of that stuff was on.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I think ESPN still had everything on, like First Take
Right.
and Undisputed. All that stuff was still on, but no Colin, no Dan, no Rich Eisen.
Oh,
nobody.
no Fox stuff was on.
Yeah, no one was on. So, what are you gonna do? So I was like, well, I'll just watch a Sports Center. So I wanted to watch those Mellow highlights.
You gotta watch those mellow.
I also wanted to get a preview for the weekend of what was gonna be on.
I like to get at least one preview before the weekend starts. That way I can regret some of the picks that I made. Because then they start talking about the games and you're like, I didn't even think about that insight. Maybe
Sure.
I should. And then you regret it. And then sometimes you fucking switch your picks.
Well,
and then you end up being wrong.
and I didn't make my picks yet. I hadn't made them yet yesterday morning. So I wanted to watch so they can talk about the Thanksgiving games so I can get a decent idea of what I was going to get into. I got up really early yesterday. 4 in the morning. Not on purpose. Just couldn't sleep.
That's how life happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah. It was fine. I was like, whatever. I'm still off.
Right.
I don't care. I don't
Day
watch
off.
TV.
Don't care. Yeah, let's start that TV early,
I don't
baby.
care. I'll
Let's
watch it all
start the
day.
binge.
I'll watch it for 14 hours. I don't give a shit.
I'll barely move.
Yeah, but I'll get bed sores.
From YouTube TV.
From YouTube TV. But I posted this picture on Instagram yesterday. Let's talk about yesterday's games. Let's jump into that. You already started. Did I text you today or yesterday?
Today.
Today, this morning, I said, I cannot believe it. I went 3 for 3. I did. Because I didn't watch last night's game. I didn't watch the third game.
Well, why would you? It was a toilet bowl.
I didn't watch Dallas and Buffalo, but it was on the radio, and I listened to it. I went old school. I listened to the game on the radio.
Well, I will say this. Last night, the Saints dominated the game, but the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons, Dong-Hook Koo, he's the guy who does the Korean guy who does the kick. He spins the ball on the ground, and he does the kick into the backflip field goal make. He was on the Chargers last year, and they cut him because he's terrible. And so we had old-ass Matt Bryant at like 45 years old. So we were like, okay, well, he's just can't do it anymore. So we cut him and went and got Koo. And it's really awkward to watch him play because he's wearing number 7. So he's wearing Michael Vick's jersey this year. And he goes, I didn't pick it. They issued it to me. So it's just even more interesting that that's the case. Yeah. And it just doesn't seem right. So last night they're wearing their like throwback Falcons uniforms, which just reminds me even more of Michael Vick, right?
Right.
But, so early in the game, misses an extra point, so they don't tie it. Later, missed the field goal, so they don't tie it. So he's off to a rocky start, and that's when the momentum starts to swing as that field goal kick, and it starts to go in the Saints' favor, because it was very close before that.
Sure.
I will say Matt Ryan made a crap. Him and Philip Rivers are both looking a little over the hill at this point in their careers.
Yeah, a little long in the tooth.
We're seeing a lot of like almost I don't care interceptions. Like they're just gonna try to force it in there anyways because they're just like, well, fuck it. And so the Falcons start to rally back. They kick an onside kick. They get it. They call Russell Gage, the guy who had just caught a touchdown, for an offsides. If you look at the replay, he wasn't offsides even close on this onside kick. So they have to do it again. And you're like, no one gets 2 onside kicks in a row, right? They get it again.
Oh, my God.
Koo, turns out, he's a trick kicker. So, of course, he's just the greatest onside kicker in the world.
Which is great.
And, okay, so then they do this.
Keep him for that.
I was like, you know what? Next year, go get a real field goal kicker. Like someone who makes field goals. Like they're supposed to, and like
an actual field goal kicker.
But then keep this guy just for this, because if you can hit onside kicks and today, so a lot of people, I don't know if they know this, but they changed the rules on onside kicks, so you have to have a balanced amount of people on the left and the right side. You can't load up one side and then kick to it anymore.
Right.
So there's almost no point in kicking onside kicks now because they don't work.
Right.
They ruined onside kicks by making that rule. But he got those 2. So realistically, he's 2 for 2, even though the stats will say 1 for 1 because the first one got called back because of the offsides. Well, they're smart. They go straight down the field and they go, we need a field goal and we need a touchdown. Let's just kick the field goal now while there's still time on the clock. That way, if we get an onside kick, then we have almost 2 minutes for Matt Ryan to go to work and get a touchdown.
Right.
So Koo hits the field goal, gets another fucking onside kick. Again, successful. So now he's really 3 for 3, even though the stats only say 2 for 2. He's found his calling.
Yeah, he could be a great Onside kicker. That's it.
If I had someone that good at onside kicking, I would carry an extra. I would cut one of. I would cut one of my quarterbacks.
You'd cut one of the 53 roster.
Yeah,
to keep him.
I would. Yeah, exactly. So like some people only carry 2 quarterbacks and some carry 3. Like the Steelers had to carry 3 because just Bed gets hurt, and so they had to have 2 people, and now it makes sense that they had the other 2 because whatever.
They're terrible, but yeah, should have kept Dobbs, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. Definitely. I think Dobbs was the future at that.
Yeah. Should have kept Dobbs.
At least not even if he was a future. He was a transition guy, right? Like he would have won.
Well, Mason
games.
ain't it.
Mason.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah, but so
we're gonna do the pick'em, by the way, on this episode.
And he makes that onside kick, and I go, "Is this happening right now?" I was full mass, dude.
I bet.
Just a little chub. It was
so excited.
Full mass.
Fully torqued.
Yeah, I was like, well, I gotta get away from my family because this is inappropriate. But so Matt Ryan from that point on fucks up the rest. I guess I don't need to really finish the story of the game, but
it came down to Matt Ryan doing it.
It came down to Matt Ryan doing it. What like it ended up not being this crappy kicker's fault. Like if anything, he got us back into it and made the end of the game very exciting because everyone had given up on that game at this point. Half of the crowd was already gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, how cool would it be? How damn cool would it be if half of the Atlanta fans already went home, Koo gets 3 onside kicks, they come back and win the game, and everyone says they missed it, because that would have been the only, like, I don't think, someone will have to look this up, but I don't think there's been 3 successful onside kicks all year total. So.
No.
Yeah, and so the last time there was, like, once again, one got called
back. Let alone in a game.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's ever been just 2 in a game.
No.
So, and like I said, really, he got 3. But it's 2.
I'd keep him.
I like him. And the thing is he did miss an extra point and he did miss a field goal, but he's still like 10 for 12 on field goals for the year. Pretty good percentage.
Well, and he's still, and
he's young. He's very young, too, so he's going to get better.
Well, and he's going to get better. Well, I guess case in point, we'll go to the Steelers. Last year, Boswell had a really bad season.
It was a rough year.
That was a rough year. He is absolutely back on this year.
Right.
And he was their MVP the year before.
Right.
He won most of their games that year before. And last year was a bad season. People were saying, cut him. I'm like, no, it's in his... And Tomlin actually was the one that said it best.
Right.
He's like, he's in his head. He's in his own head. He'll get out of it.
Right.
Well, it took a season.
Right.
But he's been back on. He looks great. He's a good field goal kicker, though.
It happens to everyone. It happened to Matt Bryant, but Matt Bryant was also 45, so it's like, time for him to go.
Adam Vinatieri, he's having a rough season.
Did they not cut him yet?
I don't know, but he's the reason why they lost against the Steelers.
Agreed.
He missed that field goal, and that was it. Because I thought they were going to win that for sure. That's all they needed was that field goal. The Steelers have been winning in spite of Mason Rudolph, although they did lose that last game, and then, of course, everything happened with the helmet. We're not going to talk much about that. That's been beaten into the ground. That whole helmet thing.
Literally.
Yeah. Although I had a funny idea for a tweet. I didn't do it when I was playing Madden 20 yesterday. I was like, so when the game's installing, you can play the Pro Bowl.
Oh, that's
it. It's just installing, so you just play the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Kind of like on the show, they always play the World Series.
Okay.
So,
back in the day, you used to play the last year's Super Bowl. That's how it used to be.
Yeah, so now it's just the Pro Bowl, which is kind of cool. You're playing all the best players, kind of getting an idea. The best players from last year,
right?
So you're using like Pat Mahomes and I
Pat
think
Daddy.
And if you play NFC, I think it's Drew Brees. It's fun.
Drew.
And on defense, Myles Garrett's on that line, and I'm like, "Come on, man, take off your helmet and beat the shit out of him!" Like, what's the button for that? I'm asking Bree. I'm like, "What's the button for that?
What's the combo?
How come I can't?
How come? But how come if this game's supposed to be realistic, I can't rip off someone's helmet and bash them in the brain with it?
So this is interesting about the game is that they do these updates. They do roster updates for the regular season. That's what they say. They say they do roster updates. But I'm currently playing the game on story mode.
Right.
And that's what I'm wondering, if it's on story mode, maybe they're not doing that.
No, once you start like a story mode,
okay,
it's from that point on it's not going to update. But like say you started started the story mode today.
Okay.
You're going to have the updated rosters in real life as far as who's on the team and all that kind of stuff.
And I thought so too, but I got drafted by the Raiders in the 4th round. Do you know who my best wide receiver is? Antonio Brown.
Oh, so maybe it's just not for story mode. I bet it's just...
I'm wondering if that's what it is.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. It used to not be story mode.
Because when you go on, like when you upload the game, like when you turn it on, it says updating rosters. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking if you go play like an exhibition game or even just the like the season or whatever, it's updating.
Yeah,
on story mode, they must have just kept it as is.
Well, because there was 2 very big things that have happened this year in the game of Madden. One, Christian McCaffrey became the newest member to join the 99 overall club. Yeah. Which is a very, very select list. And as of last week, they moved Lamar Jackson's speed to 96, which is 1 faster than Michael Vick's.
And did you see the shoes that Michael Vick got?
Very cool. I watched the video. I thought it was awesome. I also like now that Vick's retired and on Fox and everything, that it seems like football is back to accepting him as a whole. Like, it used to be selective people, right? Like, some people would go, oh, well, fuck Michael Vick, he went to prison. And then other people were like, oh, no, I love Michael Vick, he was a great player. But now it's just back to everyone loving Michael Vick.
Yeah, nobody cares.
As it should be.
Nobody gives a shit. Rich, he's been on a Rich Eisen show a few times. And I think Rich Eisen said it really good. He just kind of said after the interview, he's like, he's like, if you would have told me 10 years ago, I would have had that guy sitting in my chair as a regular guest. You know, you wouldn't believe it.
Right.
He's like, what a world we live in. Rich Eisen, he's the GOAT, by the way. Yeah. I've decided. I mean, I love Dan. I love Dan Patrick so much. Rich Eisen has climbed the ranks. Of being like my favorite radio guy. Though.
Well, back in the day, he was easily my favorite Sports Center guy before he left ESPN.
Yep.
And then went to NFL Network, right?
Yep, NFL Network.
And then he started doing that 40-yard dash, which like everyone copies now.
Love it.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
I mean, he's so good. I think what it is, though, not to change the subject too much, but I think what it is with him, though, is I think he seems so genuinely polite.
Right.
He just seems like a nice guy. He does that 40-yard dash. That's all for charity.
Right.
And then you just, when you hear him talk to, like, his guests and stuff, you're just like, man, this is a nice dude.
Right.
Love him. Love Rich. Love you, Rich. Anyway.
Big fan of the show.
But he has...
Him and Vic.
Oh, yeah. Well, he has Michael Vick on the show, and he just, he said that. I loved it. But I watched that video with Vic, though, with those shoes.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that he's become, like, the... Michael Vick is, like, the official expert commentator on all things Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Like, that's his job now.
Tell us what it's like to be fast.
They have him on those shows as like a pundit. They're like, so Mike, what do you think's going through his head right now? And he's like, well, I think he's like, I better run fast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what.
I'd probably juke him. He's thinking circle, because that's spin move. He's thinking that R1.
I will say this, though. Not to pile on the Lamar Jackson greatness, though. I will say, though, I finally have watched a couple games now with him in it, and he truthfully does look like a man amongst boys out there.
Right.
He's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And if they win the Super Bowl this year, I'm not surprised. I'm not.
No.
I think they'll have to play New England again.
Oh, for sure.
That'll be tough. Sometimes the wild card teams can catch you off guard.
Right.
So let's say, because I think Buffalo has a good chance of being a wild card team.
Right. But what they really have to worry about, because if they get a first round bye, because I bet the Patriots and Baltimore get the first round byes, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Baltimore makes it to the second, or maybe Buffalo makes it to the second round. But what they really have to worry about in that second round is, because the Patriots will get the worst team that makes it to the second round, right? So they'll probably get like Buffalo or whatever the very last team that makes it in is, which could be like, the Steelers or whatever. They'll go to New England, which sucks.
Yeah.
What they will probably get, what Baltimore will probably get in the second round is a team like Kansas City. And I think everyone slept on Kansas City so much that and Kansas City already beat them. Kansas City's like the last team to beat them.
Right. It's Cleveland and Kansas.
Right.
Nobody else has beat them. Right. They're 8-2.
Yeah. Yeah, so no one's beaten them since Kansas
City.
And Kansas City's finally healthy. And it's just because their record isn't as flashy as last year, and Pat Mahomes isn't going to win the MVP. It's like officially Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
but I think this is the best possible thing for Kansas City. I think by the end of the day, they're going to slide in there and they're going to say, hey, you don't need to just worry about the Patriots. We're here also.
I think so too.
And maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they end up playing the Patriots in that second round of the playoffs, and maybe they go into Foxborough and win. So if the AFC Championship, this is all I'm saying. If it's the AFC Championship or the game before, if Kansas City and Baltimore play, ratings are going to fucking shatter.
Oh, I think so too.
Because it's going to be everything that we wanted last year. Like last year, remember there was that regular season game between the Chiefs and the Rams. And it was like, just no one could stop each other.
Right, it was great. It was so fun.
Both teams were just flexing nuts the whole time.
It was a blowout.
Yeah.
I mean, just to air out.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
I mean, both teams were just flexing nuts and sexing butts. You know, the whole time.
God damn it! One per episode where you catch me.
Oh man. Yeah. But anyways.
So good.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being like the real highlight of the postseason if it does happen, and I think that would bring us what we like. So many other things like last year ended up being letdowns, right? Saints didn't make it to the Super Bowl, kind of a letdown because Brady Breeze would have been awesome, or the opposite. Kansas City beats New England, and then we have Kansas City versus the Rams Part 2, and then that would have been awesome because of the first game. But, like, so many of last year was a letdown, and I feel like if this happens this season, there's no way that game's a letdown.
Oh, I think so. I think you're right.
But also, if the Patriots get there, we already know this. Patriots, second time around seeing anybody, they're going to game plan better.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick's just a freaking genius.
Well, this season has been the real testament to their season, where he finds a way.
Wins. Yeah.
He finds a way. Their offense is not good.
No.
They have not been good.
They could get better, though.
They could, yeah.
They have people around Tom. People keep acting like they don't.
I know. I think a big gut punch might have been the Antonio Brown thing. I think that might have helped right now, having him out there. I mean, his first game with them.
Right.
He looked great.
You're like, shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I don't like this.
But, N'Keal Harry caught that touchdown last week, his first game back, and it's like, Sanu's going to get healthy. I think they figure it out, but
can we... I texted you this, and I want to say it out loud. Order has been restored, my friends. The Cowboys still suck, and thank you for that.
Right.
I hate the Cowboys. I have never liked the Cowboys.
No.
And earlier in the season, I think you and I both were kind of like, okay, for the NFC, probably the Cowboys.
Right. But we didn't realize that because they were only playing bad teams at the time.
Prior to the season, also, once on the show, I gave a I was wrong speech. I'm actually going to give the same speech again about the same team.
Right.
Prior to the season, I said the Rams were not going to sniff the playoffs. The Rams looked like they were going to, and I looked like I was wrong. I am back on the side of the fence where I'm saying the Rams are not sniffing the playoffs.
They actually are bad. I would say the Cowboys are much better than the Rams.
I think so too.
They're both bad.
Yeah.
And they're both not good. I'm
back on it. The Rams are not going to the playoffs.
But that's really opened up out of nowhere a team that's been kind of a huge letdown. They have been a huge letdown this year. Is the Eagles, and now the Eagles are right there. All Carson Palmer has to do, or Carson Wentz has to do. Palmer, I wish. The GOAT. All Wentz has to do is stop sucking balls. You know what I mean? Like just do okay. He doesn't have to do great. Just go out there and do okay.
Did you see Carson Palmer gave his Heisman Trophy to the Dan Patrick Show?
No, why did he do that?
I don't know. It was covered in dust. They've literally received it, and they're like, man, this thing's dirty. I had it stored somewhere. So he gave it to the show. They have it like they're just.
He just doesn't care about it.
No, he doesn't care. He's Carson Palmer. He's like the most humble dude that's ever played.
He just doesn't seem like anyone who cares about old accolades either.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that was 16 years ago. I don't care. I was a child.
Right. He was really good though.
I know. He keeps those robot legs healthy. I mean, you could have been the best of us.
I mean, I loved him with Bruce Arians. I loved that matchup.
Right.
Bruce Arians obviously came back and coached. I think Carson probably would have came back.
I like to imagine that next year Carson's going to come back full robot and take Jameis Winston's place.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just comes out.
Jameis Winston. I don't know who they take now.
Yeah, because you got to replace Jameis. The team's good. The thing is like, the record's not good, but Jameis has like 20 picks already. Right. Godwin, like, I didn't expect him to be a top 5 wide receiver, which means they now have like 2 top 5 wide receivers on the same team. And, but I was saying this the other day also, because they are looking a lot better at skill position, especially now that Ronald Jones is kind of emerged as the number 1 running back. And love me some Rojo, by the way. When he came out of USC, Ronald Jones, I was like, he's going to be the man. And it took him a while. He had a really bad rookie year, but he's looking a lot better this year. I will say this. I don't know a team that has 2 elite wide receivers that's ever competed in the playoffs, though. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem to be. It just doesn't seem to be a competitive advantage.
Huh.
The team with the best wide receiver never wins the Super Bowl either.
Okay.
So, the Buccaneers have a lot of, I would say almost unguardable wide receivers. It's just not correlating into wins, so it's like maybe that's not something that you should care about. It's defense, offensive line. But also, not only that, but I feel bad for Bruce Arians going into next year because they're still in a division with the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons. So even if he puts together a good team and coaches it well, I don't see them making the playoffs anytime soon. So maybe they should draft a guy because that gives them a couple years to build up, and then by the time they build up that quarterback, then Drew Brees is dead.
Huh. Okay. I'll take it. So did you watch all the games yesterday?
I watched all 3, yes.
You
all
did.
The way through. Didn't miss a damn snap.
So the first game of the day, which one was that one? That was
Lions, Bears.
Lions-Bears. I did take the Bears on that one.
Yeah, you did.
But that was one of the ones I was like, well, even without Matt Stafford
or Driscoll, they were on their third string quarterback.
Right. So even without those two, I was like, well, this is it's like the Lions game though. Like this is their game. But then I was like, you know what? They lose every Thanksgiving. I'm going with the Bears. It's like it's their game to lose on Thanksgiving. That's a tradition. It's an American tradition to watch the Lions lose. So that one was easy. That was chalk. That second game though, the Bills and the Cowboys, that was the one where I was like, well, all right. The Cowboys are coming off that loss. There's a lot of pressure from Jerry Jones right now. I'm like, I like what I've seen from the Bills. And honestly, between the two, I went on record. I went on who had the better record. I was like, all right, going Bills. Just on a whim.
I thought they looked great, so I was in a really tough spot yesterday. One, with that game because I was rooting for the Bills.
Oh, same.
2, and I was like, this game's going to go one of 2 ways. One, the Bills play a defensive game similar to how the Patriots did against Dallas. They're going to follow that format. Josh Allen has not been... By the way, 1 pick as to like 13 touchdowns lately. Like, him and Sam Darnold have both completely, finally hit their stride. Both of them. Sam Darnold and... Like, if you look at the last 8 games, Sam Darnold and Josh Allen both have better stats than Tom Brady.
I'm glad you're saying that because I wanted to say on the show at some point if Sam does not get sick, I'm still behind Sam as this guy. I honestly am still. I know we came back and he had those rough games. He saw the ghosts. Like all this stuff. But dude, the kid, I still think he's the future of that franchise. I think he's the future of that division.
I think so too.
I really do
with Josh Allen right there with him.
I think it's going to take Tom to retire, and those 2 guys are going to be the 2 guys to be battling it out.
They're going to be dropping it in every weekend,
right?
Just left and right.
I mean, man,
just dropping it in.
And I love watching Josh Allen play. I honestly do.
He had a touchdown run that was really fun.
Yeah.
They run gadget plays with him, so they had a play where John Brown did an end around and actually threw a touchdown to Singletary, and I'm like, dang it, that's insane. Like when they look so fun to watch play. Like I love their running backs. Also Frank Gore is one of them, so that's awesome. John Brown and Cole Beasley, just 2 little guys out there
Gore's one of those ageless wonders still.
Cole Beasley's always been like a safety blanket when he was in Dallas, but now he's becoming like a touchdown threat, which I've never known him as.
Yeah.
He's like becoming the guy.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
It's just weird.
They're doing a lot with who they have.
And I think Knox, so their 3rd round pick, Knox out of, I believe, Ole Miss, he's going to keep progressing as a young tight end. This year's draft class for tight ends, I mean, Noah Fant, Knox, just the whole squad, you really couldn't have picked a bad one. It was like if you picked a tight end in this year's draft, you nailed it.
Well, after that game yesterday, I remember thinking to myself, it's a shame that this team is in the same division as the Patriots. Well, they'll have to wild card in.
Right.
Because they're fun to watch.
A 9-3 team, you don't usually expect to have to wild card in
Right.
at that point. They're like, oh, they're on pace to win their division because if they win out, they're 13-3, which is an insane record. But that's where a lot of people at the top are sitting right now. It's kind of crazy on the NFC and the AFC. You're like, how many 3-loss teams are there? How is this possible? Like 1, 2, and 3-loss teams. There's usually not that many at this point in the year.
You're like, how do these matchups even come about?
But maybe that's just because there's so many damn teams tanking right now. Like,
Yeah.
for having the amount of elite teams that we have right now, we also have the Dolphins and the Redskins in the same league. And those two, like, I don't know if someone said the other day, they're like, I don't know if there's ever been a team as bad as this Redskins team. And if you know, for Bengals, and the Bengals are worse.
The Bengals are worse.
But some people think that this Redskins team is just like the worst thing that's ever been put on a field.
No, it's the Bengals. This Bengals team is the worst team that's ever existed.
Yeah. I'm going to be rooting for Andy Dalton. He's back starting again this Sunday for the first time.
Well, I think it's good. Put him back in at this point. Well, let's talk about a little starting quarterback stuff because we haven't mentioned it yet. But
Right.
I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. But I mean, Mason Rudolph going out.
Right.
Thank God, finally.
Yeah.
I mean, the games they won in spite of him. As the defense is solid. The only reason why they lost against Cleveland is because the defense didn't show.
Right.
But neither did Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph had 4 interceptions, which is going to make your defense look bad.
But I still don't understand. Okay, so they pulled him in this last game against the Bengals and put Hodges in there.
Right.
I'm still unclear as to why after the second interception against the Browns, why he was not pulled.
Yeah, it's like, how come he's still in the game?
How come, Mike? How come you still have Mason in there? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you let the kid throw 4 interceptions against the Browns.
Right.
I mean, not the Browns or anything to scoff at. I mean, they got Ward. I mean, they got some good defensive players.
Right.
But Mason has not been good. He has not been good in a game. He had a couple good comeback games with Seattle and the 49ers there.
Yeah.
Where he showed some promise, but they lost those games. I'm not saying, okay, after that game with the Chargers, you run with Hodges for the rest of the season. But I'm saying, why don't you take a closer look at that? If the third string quarterback comes in and wins that game in LA against the Chargers, why are we not looking at the next few games and going like, all right, Mason, if you throw 2 interceptions, man, I got to pull you. I got to go with this guy who has won a game.
Yeah.
Neither of you are our starter. Right. I mean, granted, we don't see what happens in practice.
Right.
We never see it. Also, be willing to bet that the team paid more for Mason.
Well, yeah.
Because he's a second string.
Because he was drafted,
He's drafted. Hodges was not. But the reason why I like that they're playing Hodges, I don't know if he'll win on Sunday. I took him.
Yeah.
I'll say that now. I did take them to win that game. It's in Pittsburgh, for one thing.
Right.
The other thing, I do genuinely think that Hodges is a better quarterback than.
Yeah.
I think he's better. I think
he's not the prototype like Mason. The Mason's, the 6'3", 6'4", perfect build, whatever. Devlin's like 6 foot even, man, undrafted from Samford.
You know what I like seeing from Devlin though?
What's that?
Man, that deep ball. He loves it. He loves throwing that deep ball, and he's not bad.
No,
he's not bad at throwing it.
Well, and they'll have.
As soon as they put him in that game, he started throwing those deep balls, and I was like, man, this is fun.
Right.
This is how this should be.
Well, with those weapons, Washington, Johnson, and now Juju's going to be back. Let them air it out. Let them get weird.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the season's almost a bust. At this point, it's not. They're in, but at this point, let them have fun with it. The other side of that too, is that I've watched the interviews with him. He does seem like a genuinely better person than Mason Rudolph.
Which I also care about.
I do as well. I think Mason Rudolph seems like a little prick. And I said I'm not going to talk too much about the Myles Garrett thing. I don't think he said anything racial, probably. And the only reason why I say that is I do feel like if he said something racial, Myles Garrett immediately would have been like, dude, the guy said something racially charged right now. Right. I mean, he would have been like, are you hearing this? Like, right. I just feel like for it to come out later, it seems a little, I don't know.
And then the league was like, there's no proof, and then they just dropped it.
Yeah, I just feel like if it would have happened right there, he would have been like, dude, what the hell? Like, right now. Like,
right.
Did you hear what he said?
I'm usually one to believe when someone says something like that. Like, 9 out of 10 times. This is just like the 1 out of 10 times where I'm like, everything from both sides of these two people, like Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph, just seems so fake, and it's like hard to believe that anything either of them are saying.
Well, I know. So here's the thing: is I usually am one that tends to believe it too, especially in this case where actually I don't think Mason Rudolph is a very nice person. I think he's kind of a prick. I was not kidding about that. Watched the interviews with him. He seems like a dick. You remember you remember when he got drafted, and everybody wanted to point some blame at Ben for being like. Right. You know, I'm not
here to coach him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to coach him, which he has very much been a coach.
Right.
Also, I'll throw it out there. We haven't had our chance to talk. Then they keep showing Ben on the sidelines. I kind of like the look of it.
Right.
He looks he's standing out there. He's getting fatter for sure.
Yeah.
He's got the grizzled beard and he's wearing the headset and stuff. I'm like, man, this guy, maybe he plays another season and maybe they bring him in as a offensive coordinator.
Right.
I mean, I think he lives in Pittsburgh now. I think he's stayed there. Why not? I think he'd be a great coach.
Yeah, you just don't see Hall of Fame quarterbacks transition to coaching ever. They transition to broadcasting all the time.
It is interesting though, right? Yeah.
I'd honestly love Ben as a broadcaster because, like, just give me Ben Roethlisberger and Jay Cutler. Don't give me, give me 2 color guys. I don't need anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And just let him take over Monday Night Football because I can't handle Booger McFarland anymore. Chris Collinsworth on Sunday Night Football. Like, we need a changing of the guard.
Booger makes me so. I like him, but man, I felt like in that game where they were playing, when the Steelers were playing the Ravens, and they were just putting it to him, right? Man, just throttling him. And Booger just kept saying, like, I really like what this coach is doing. It was like they gave him these talking points.
Yeah.
And he just kept on them.
Well, that was the Bengals game, too, remember? Because he's, complimenting Andy Dalton
That's while
Andy Dalton's getting destroyed.
He's complimenting the Bengals staff, the Bengals team. And I feel like they just gave him these talking points, and he kept on them.
He couldn't ad-lib.
Yeah, because I think any natural human being would have been like, man, I just really like what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I like it, too, as a Steelers fan. Those games yesterday... It was fun to see the Cowboys lose. I'm not going to lie.
It was. So, yeah, back to that. I mean, the Bills are really fun to watch play. Their defense is so talented and young, and they're going to be around for a long time. When are we going to find out Jason Garrett's fired? Like, what minute of today or tomorrow?
Jerry's saying he's safe, but Jerry's a liar who lies.
Yeah.
I don't think I think he lasts the season. I don't think he's lasts the year.
And I guess the other question that I have is, do they beat a single team the whole year above 500?
Well, they haven't yet.
No, they still haven't.
They haven't won a game where I saw this on SportsCenter. Thank you, YouTube TV, for being my provider.
Providing for me.
They haven't won a game where they've scored below 30 points. So they have to score 30 to win the game.
Right.
They have not beat a team that's over with a winning record this season.
Right.
So they're not good.
No, they're not good.
They're a good bad team.
Yeah.
Amongst the bad teams that are worse.
And they're in a really, really bad division.
Yeah.
We just didn't realize going into the season how exactly bad. Like, Giants, fucking terrible. Redskins, one of the worst I've ever seen. And then the Eagles, like, I don't know who Carson Wentz is anymore. I don't think he knows. I think he's having like a quarterback. He's just not. He's pulling a Trubisky, and he's just not even looking at some people wide open. Like, he's just missing people. He's not making the reads anymore.
This is the guy who's going to be MVP. I mean, he was MVP.
Yeah.
Was
Right?
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for that year.
Isn't that crazy?
Boy, that didn't work out.
So if they haven't beaten an above 500 team, this is what their remaining schedule is. Bears. So Bears are now, they're above 500.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can't beat an above 500 team, I don't think they can make the playoffs. Bears are 6-6. So here's the catch-22 on that game. If they beat the Bears are below 500, and then they still haven't beaten above 500 team.
Okay.
So the only way the statement continues to be true is if the Bears win and get above 500. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's what sucks about two 6-6 teams playing each other.
Yeah.
So I think they beat the Bears. I think that's at Chicago, so that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky turned it around in the second half. I loved, if you didn't get a chance to watch the game yesterday, Troy Aikman clearly doesn't like him and just bashed him the entire time. It was hilarious. And his stat line was pretty good by the end of it. I don't know if it was inflated just by the way the game went, but the Rams. So what are the Rams at now?
Ooh.
The Rams are they 6-6 also? Rams are 6-5. So the Rams could be above 500 when they play them. It's in Dallas. We just talked about it at the beginning of the show. I said I think that the Cowboys are better than the Rams.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the first time they'll do it, and the only time they do it all year, because then the following week is at Philadelphia. That's got to decide the whole season.
It will. Yeah.
And not only does that decide the season, that probably really is the one that decides Jason Garrett's job.
Yeah.
Because
if he
wins that,
game.
they get in. They get in. The following week, by the way, we won't talk about. They play the Redskins. So they'll
win.
So they need to win 3, if not all 4 of their final games, depending on how the Eagles play. But
yeah,
the Eagles have also, by the way, had some tough losses. Their loss against the Patriots 2 weeks ago. By the way, on the pick'em, I actually had the Eagles. That was like the only game I got wrong that day.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I had a lot of faith in them. So the Eagles are 5-6. So the Eagles could be also 6-6 by the time that game happens.
Oof.
And yeah, I mean, it's close.
I didn't think we'd have that conversation though.
Right. So what we're also saying is like potentially the winner of this division could be 9-7 or 8-8 or 8-8 because. Look at either of these two people's schedule. There's no guarantee they're even going to win 2 of those 4 games.
Right.
They'll beat the Redskins, and there's no guarantee on any of the other ones. So the winner of this division could very well be a 500 team.
God.
Which I think is also could be said for, the Tennessee Colts, Texans division.
Well, and for every year the Seahawks were a success too.
Right.
I mean that they got into the playoffs several times at
well, like 10 or 9 or even one year that
I
one
think,
year where
they had 8-8.
Well, yeah, that was the year before. That was the year before Russell Wilson, though. That's so long ago, it doesn't count.
But that's what I mean. Like every team in the division was like.
That was the first time that ever happened, too, by the way.
Oh right.
And then I think the following year.
And who did they have? Who was it? It was.
At quarterback.
Yeah.
That was the final year of Hasselbeck, and then they went out and tried to get Matt Flynn. They paid a bunch of money to get him from Green Bay. And Russell Wilson was so good as a rookie that Matt Flynn never actually started a game.
I do remember that.
Little fun fact for y'all.
Well, Matt Flynn actually.
Little knowledge on Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn didn't get to do much.
Shout out to Matt Flynn.
Where'd he end up?
I think he went to the Raiders for like a year.
No, that's right.
And then he couldn't hold that down. And then they got Derek Carr.
That's right.
More knowledge for y'all. Suckers.
The Raiders, they have these signs of brilliance.
And then they do what they did against the Jets.
Man.
That was rough.
That was a tough game for the Raiders. It looked like easy for the Jets.
And now they have to go play Kansas City, so that's like they needed that.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be an easy one going into a tough Kansas City game.
Yeah. That was a tough game going into a tougher Kansas City game.
That could have been like the turning point of their season that like sealed them not making the playoffs.
Right. Haven't lost one. We'll have to go have beer and wings soon here.
Yeah, we're gonna get some beer and wings.
Should we do some pick'em?
Let's do some pick'em. Cue the tunes up for Papa.
Just play some music for that.
Yeah, why don't you set the mood, baby?
It's been fun. Before we do pick 'em, I just wanted to throw out. We did text about it a little bit, but excuse me. Have you watched? Did you watch CM Punk on that WWE
No, I
on Fox
ended
show?
up missing it. I was really excited to see it too.
It was great. He did a great job. He bashed the product, and he's not being paid by WWE. I don't think. I think this is Fox.
Okay.
I think Fox is paying him to do their show.
Oh.
Because he's saying whatever he wants. There's no way Vincent Kennedy McMahon would be letting this happen. No, not a chance in hell. Because he's calling the product garbage. He's like, well, from what it looks like, the women are doing the best.
Right.
And they talked about like Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns thing, and he's like, it looks like it's just garbage. And it's just, woo. I think it's Fox. I think Fox Sports has paid him to be a pundit, and because they have the show, they can do whatever the hell they want.
That's awesome.
I love it. He was great on Colin's show.
Yeah. Colin was
so
excited
good.
to have him.
Yeah. I think Colin was fun to have somebody who will be a shooter on there. I think it's fun. I love that. I love that they're doing it though. Hey, look. Here's the thing though. You watch Fox Sports and you watch the NFL shows. Those people in the panel bash those teams and bash that product. That's what they do.
Right.
Fox wants that. They don't want all 4 members of the Fox on or WWE on Fox to be for just people who are gonna tout the product,
Right.
because that's not their product anymore. It's Fox.
Right.
Fox wants an analyst. That's what it is. They want that board. You know,
Right.
they want that panel. And WWE's been doing their own kind of little panel before those
Right.
pay-per-views, right? With
they
like
just kiss their
Renee,
ass, yeah.
but they're just like, oh man, I'm really excited about Bray Wyatt, and it's just like shut
Yeah.
up. Like,
This is the event of the season.
but Fox is like, no, we want. It's clearly they just
Yeah.
want somebody to be on there who's going to be realistic and then like talk about the product. Like, let's analyze this thing because it's not real.
Right.
Because wrestling is not real. So Fox is going to do the next best thing, which is like, let's talk about the product thing.
Right.
It's good. I think it's a good move.
That's awesome.
It honestly might be. It might help. Actually, it might help the
That's
product.
what I was just thinking, is it might help them actually maybe wrestle a little better.
Sure.
Maybe put together a better show.
Well, I mean,
Maybe a little more AEW-esque action.
dude, the action on AEW is so good. People are comparing AEW to WCW, and I want to remind everybody that WCW had Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. All those guys were well outside of their prime to be wrestling. What worked on WCW was the cruiserweight division.
Right.
With Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho, who, by the way, is on AEW and still looks
I
fantastic.
know, it's crazy.
He's so good. He still looks. I mean, he's not high flying anymore. I mean, cause Jericho was never that high flying, but he would do like that moonsault and stuff.
Right.
He ain't moonsaulting anymore.
I
The
wish he
lion
was.
salt. He ain't doing that. But he looks good. I like the Le Champion thing. I think it's funny. Has there ever been a wrestler ever to come out and reinvent themselves as many times as he has?
Not as much.
And as
that.
successfully as he has?
No, it keeps working. It's
The
great.
guy's a renaissance. Also, we didn't talk about this renaissance too, and we'll do that right before we go into the. Man, Mello looks great on the Blazers.
Oh, yes,
I love
he
it.
does.
We didn't talk about it, but
The efficiency's there. He's taking
Ugh.
less shots, but they're going in. And he must have really been working on his game, because a lot of the shots he made when he went 9 for 11 the other night were tough damn shots.
Right.
Highly contested shots. And it was smart. I thought they were going to put him off the bench. It was smart they decided to start him.
Oh,
So
it's
now
started.
we have him, Hood, Whiteside, Lillard, McCollum. That starting five
this is a great starting five.
in the last 3 games, they're all double-digit scorers, and 2 of them, 4 of them are over 20. It's like, what the hell is happening?
Whiteside's great. I'm so glad we got him. We're excited for Nurk to come back, but rotate those 2 guys. Woo!
Yeah, once Nerf Daddy comes
And then
back.
let's throw in. I mean, I think it was 4 months. That still should be enough time to play a little bit. Let's
Yeah.
get Zach back too. Zach Collins,
Yeah.
man, because he was chippy.
They
He's
need
looking
him.
good.
They need him.
When
They need him for that next level now.
When prior to that shoulder injury, I think a lot of the losses have come because they haven't had
Well,
him.
and he'll be Melo's backup now,
Right.
because they're having Melo play that 4 spot. So who better to learn from? He's gonna get maybe get a little more to his offensive game.
I would like to see. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see Melo finish the season strong and return for one more year with the Blazers.
Right.
And do the farewell season then.
Yeah, I don't think this should be the farewell Melo.
No, I don't think it is.
He's looking too good.
Dude, I mean, even just that first game when he came back, I think a bulk of us think Michael Wagner.
Yeah.
He even said, like, I kind of thought we'd see Fat Melo.
Yeah.
We do not. He went and did the Dwight Howard way,
Right.
and he looks so good.
Right.
I think he's obviously he's playing for a job, but I'm hoping that job is in Portland. Let's keep him now. You
Right.
see the excitement from Damian and CJ, the whole team. They want this guy there. Have we seen this happen
No.
with him
No.
since early Knicks?
Yeah.
We haven't seen him go to a team and have every person on the team be excited about getting him there.
Right.
Let's embrace that. The fans want you there. I think those guys, the fact that those guys, I mean, you watch them giving him the ball to make those shots. And CJ and Damian still had amazing games.
Right.
And so did Whiteside and Hood. Like, they all had great games. They want him there, man. Play off that excitement. Let's keep this guy happy. I know his family's in New York. It's tough.
Right.
Did you see the FaceTime thing? His wife, they played in. So when they won that game, I can't remember where they played. Oh, in Chicago. When
Right.
they played Chicago, his wife was holding up the FaceTime to show him to his son.
Yeah.
Like, so she's like talking to her son and then like showing dad warm up for the game and then that Chicago game was like that's like the turn for them, you know. Anyway.
They play the Bulls again tonight, by the way. Second time in a week. This time in Chicago, or this time in Portland. I think they obviously beat the brakes off of them in Portland.
Right.
I'm hoping Melo has another efficient game, right? Like, let's shoot 11 or less shots. Let's realize you're, at best, the second or third option. Continue to be humble. Continue to work for tough shots when the team wants you to, though.
It's easy to remember that he's not good on defense.
Right.
Because he doesn't play it.
Right.
It's harder to remember that he is really good at rebounding.
Right.
Good God.
He's very Kevin Love-esque.
Yeah.
I think that's, but with a more of a handle.
Yeah.
Like, he has more of an offensive skill set, but it's still.
But boy,
he's got that body, though.
he's a great rebounder though.
Right.
I love hearing him, get off that shit.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
It's his trademark.
He like swats him away with his body too.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
a little shimmy shrug.
I think it's subconscious too. I think it's
Right.
a subconscious thing where he cusses every time he goes up for the ball. I think it's a subconscious thing though where he just does it. He's just part of his play.
And by the way, I still have complete faith in the Blazers turning this season around.
Oh, me too.
I was surprised at how good the Mavericks have started, and I don't see that slowing down. It's the Suns who are kind of slowing down, so I had to bite my tongue on that because I thought the Suns were going to keep it up, but the Suns just aren't there.
Right.
So I think they'll cool it. I don't know if the Timberwolves cool off either, though. So
Right.
one of these really bad teams that are currently really bad between like the Spurs and Portland, I think only one of our teams actually turns it around. Like they might both end up getting above 500 by the end of the year,
Yeah.
but one of them's not making it.
Sure.
So, but still very exciting because I think both teams are capable.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's do some pick'em football finally. All right, here we go. I gotta pull it up here.
We know what you want. Yeah, I
Tell me
pulled it
what
up.
you want. All right. I had it up and then it does that thing the pick'em does where it backs you back out of it.
Oh, word.
All right, so Bears, Lions, Bills, Cowboys, Saints, Falcons. I went 3 for 3 on that sucker, and I just want to say it one more time before we get into the next ones. But Sunday, no Saturday games yet. Sunday, the first game that started us off here is the Jets and the Bengals. The Jets are going to Cincinnati. The Jets are going to win so good.
Yeah, the next thing you know, the Jets are 5-7. They're kind of turning it around.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I will say that everyone gets one. Like this could be the game easily that Cincinnati does get with Dalton being back. might be a little motivation to the team.
I'd be okay with the Bengals winning this one just so Dalton gets one.
I would be okay with them winning this as well. It's not like the Jets are about to make a playoff push or anything. I mean, I guess they could, but I don't see them winning 4 straight. But my gut still tells me that the Jets are getting hot at the right time. So Jets, for sure.
Browns at the Steelers. The Steelers are on their 3rd string quarterback. I don't want to play too much into that because I do not believe their 3rd string quarterback is in fact their 3rd string quarterback. I think their 3rd string quarterback is tied for their 2nd string quarterback. That said, it is in Pittsburgh. I do think they have a spark, as Mike Tomlin said. They do have a spark that they've got by having Hodges play this game. He seems like a good guy, and I so badly want Baker Mayfield to lose this game that I'm going to not only root for the Steelers, I did take them in the pick'em. I see them going to 7-5, making the rest of the season actually very feasible for this game.
Right.
But we are finally now seeing it, though. This is absolutely must win for both of these teams.
I agree. I love that it's crunch time now.
Yeah.
Like the mini playoffs.
This is it. This is finally it.
Yeah.
We're finally to the part where we can say that and have it be absolutely true.
Right. I don't see the Cleveland Browns beating the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 times in a season. I don't see them getting the 2nd one in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is too good. Minkah Fitzpatrick is all over the damn field. Juju's back this week, I'm pretty sure, baby.
He is, yep.
So let's see what Devlin does with that full roster of wide receivers.
And I think the defense shows up this time too.
Yeah.
It was a tough game.
Yeah, they're not going to not show up twice. Although I will say, Chubb, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, they're all getting hot at the right time now for Cleveland.
Well, and I mean, they're also Kareem. That was what did him in too, man.
Right.
Not only do they have Chubb, but they're working in with that 1-2 punch with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, man.
Right.
It was rough.
Right.
That whole game, I was like, man, this sucks. This sucks that Kareem Hunt's playing this game because he looked good too.
And I think he's going to continue to look good.
I hate it. I'm glad he's playing good though. Good for him. And Nick Chubb, I'm glad he's such a star. I did wonder, but I'm glad he's a star. I think it's awesome. Packers Giants in New York. I don't know. Packers. The Giants have a shot in hell.
I think that Daniel Jones has done an interesting job with the people
Sure.
around him, with Shepard and Saquon, keeping them in games, and then he'll have like little flashes of brilliance where he'll have like a big, nice drive, but it's followed by 2 really crappy, sloppy
Right.
drives. Packers have been really bad on the road this year, but Aaron Rodgers is going to bounce back from that 49ers game, and I think in this game he's going to do it in like dramatic fashion. So
Yeah.
I definitely think the Packers win this game. I don't think it's close.
Titans playing in Indianapolis against the Colts. The Colts have won some surprisingly bad ways. I'm still going to take them in this game. Was Tannehill playing for the Titans? Is that who we're going with?
Yeah, well, they got to ride him the rest of the way. He's been great.
Right. This is the game that was tough for me. I could have coin flipped this, but I'm going with the Colts at home.
I took the Titans in this. I think most people took the Colts at home. I'm with the Vegas odds on this game, actually. Titans defense looks better than it has all season. Henry's getting going again at the end of the year like he did last year at the right time. I think they really found something with their young wide receivers. So, I don't know. This is not the Dolphins' Tannehill. He does not throw picks. He's gutsy down the field, though.
Well, I also want to...
And he's more accurate than I've ever seen him.
I think we've also talked about it, too. I mean, neither one of us hated Tannehill in Miami
No,
either.
he just got hurt too much.
Right.
But no, I like Tennessee on the road in this game.
I think him and Mariota are both starting quarterbacks. They just need to both find their teams. Tannehill might have found it.
I think this is just proof that fit is so important.
Yeah.
But his chemistry with A.J. Brown, I think A.J. Brown is a rookie. He is an absolute monster. He looks like a linebacker that plays wide receiver or, a really tall running back. But I love the chemistry that they're starting to get on that team, and so I think they're going to make a push. I think they're making a run. I wouldn't be surprised if they really compete with the Texans to win the division.
Right. Eagles and Dolphins in Miami. I think it's fortunate that the Eagles have this game on their schedule because this is going to be the chance for them to get back into the 500 realm.
Yeah. This game came at the right time for them.
Yeah. It would have been a little better if they would have got a win last week, but definitely this is good for them. The Eagles.
Yeah,
Easily.
How much analysis can you put into the Dolphins?
If the Eagles lose this game, they're absolutely done for the season.
They are done, and I think they have a serious Carson Wentz problem.
Yeah.
If they lose this game.
Which would be a shame. Buccaneers at the Jaguars. Man, I like the Buccaneers. I really do.
They're fun.
I want to see what the Buccaneers can do if you can give Bruce Arians a different quarterback. What if he goes out and gets Mariota next year?
I think he'll draft a rookie, but I would like them to get a veteran.
Sure. And somebody like Mariota where he could work with that person who's already had some time.
Yeah, the thing about Mariota, though, is that they have two really great wide receivers there, and is he going to pull the trigger on those down-the-field throws? He just seems like he's a little hesitant. Someone's got to break that mindset of his. Until that happens, he's not an NFL-ready quarterback. He's too timid.
I almost wondered, I was thinking about this earlier, I was almost wondering what Arians would have done had Tampa Bay kept Fitzpatrick. With Arians.
Right. Because he's gutsy.
Yeah, and he's old. Bruce Arians likes those old guys. I almost wonder how that would have looked. Better than Winston, I think.
Everything's better than Winston.
I went with the Jags in this game, though.
What did I do? I also...
Is Foles playing?
Yes, Foles is still playing. Jaguars they've had a tough outing since he came back. There's some bad matchups. I think they were on pace to this type of record anyways.
Yeah.
Foles is clearly a situational quarterback. Always certain... Let's face it, the Eagles teams he was on, it was just right fit, right team. But
we knew.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just glad he got his money. Go somewhere else, get your money.
Yeah.
You earned it. He earned it.
Yeah.
But
I think Gardner Minshew might have a place somewhere at some time.
He's trash. He sucks. But, it's a team with two backup quarterbacks as an options for starters. That being said, they're still better in Tampa right now. Yeah. So...
They had, I can't remember his name. But their big quarterback, though, he works for the Steelers, though, doesn't he? What the hell is his name? Big black dude.
Leftwich. Byron
Leftwich. Doesn't he work for the Steelers now?
No, he works with Bruce Arians.
That's right.
He follows Bruce everywhere.
That's right.
Like a freaking lapdog.
He played in Pittsburgh, though, for a bit.
That's kind of where he started his,
That's right. Well, because he was like a player coach almost.
Right.
He was kind of a... I liked him. I like Byron.
I love Byron. I thought last year Arizona threw him into the fire a little too early as far as offensive coordinating, but he's earned it.
I think he's great.
Yeah.
I loved him when he played on the team anyway.
I got Jacksonville. I will say that we're not talking about it, but let's face it, Jacksonville kind of fell off the map the day they traded Jalen Ramsey.
Yep. Although it hasn't mattered for him either. So, Redskins at the Panthers. Could this or the last game, between this and the last game, which one is the toilet bowl of the week?
This one.
This one?
It's this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with that too. I am taking the Panthers in this game, but it's only because the Redskins are so absolutely bad. And the Panthers still have Christian McCaffrey, so there's still a hope.
DJ Moore, Samuels, Greg Olsen. There's really no excuse for this team, even with a backup quarterback, to be bad.
Yeah.
Great defense.
And their backup quarterback hasn't been horrible.
No, he's just had a couple of tough outings.
Sure.
I think the Falcons exposed him, which is, when you get exposed by the Falcons defense, maybe you need to reevaluate your life.
This is kind of the year of the backup quarterback, though.
It has been. That has been the storyline for sure. I also got Carolina. I'm not going to pick Washington. Now, last week, I think I was like, why did I not pick Washington? I messaged you that earlier in the day. It just seemed like, I honestly thought Haskins was going to have his first good game as a pro, and he did not. He ended up taking a selfie instead of finishing the game, which was ridiculous. But I would like you to add a sound effect for a toilet flushing for the next time.
Oh, yeah.
So when I say this week's toilet bowl, you just go flush.
I love the idea, and I'll make sure I get on that.
We need to become a show that has a soundboard.
I always wanted it. I have. I tried doing the air horn for a bit.
Yeah, the air horn was my jam.
I'm gonna figure out the Sanborn.
It's time for the hardest game to pick of the week.
I am actually. Side note here, I am actually working on getting a PC built with Adam to do this show. We're gonna do an actual PC for this show. No more laptop.
Ugh.
We're gonna do the real deal. It'll stay plugged in. It's gonna be good quality. We'll also do Let's Plays with it. So I'll move the stuff back in here and we'll be able to actually do that stuff with that technology.
Love it.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. You can use the whole studio.
Because it's yours.
That way we have it. This is gonna be the toughest game to pick this week.
Yeah.
I went back and forth on it. Ultimately, I knew who I was going to pick, but this is the 49ers at the Ravens in Baltimore. I went with the Ravens in this game. This was tough, though, man. The 49ers are still they're 10-1. Good Lord. Who guessed that? You? Were they your worst to first?
Well, they weren't a worst, were they? No.
They weren't a great.
Bengals were the worst.
Yeah.
I tried to pick like a real worst for worst to first because I wanted to pick San Francisco, but San Francisco had a better record than Arizona. So
Right.
if we go back to our worst to first episode, I was like San Francisco, San Francisco, San Francisco.
Well, this is it.
But then they're still there.
But the Niners, though. 49ers. So not
Yeah.
San Francisco.
I was on San Francisco on my worst to first. I really was.
Well, so you won.
Yeah. So I guess I am. Yeah.
10-1. I
Yeah.
mean,
They're still there.
they're amazing.
But I also like Baltimore in this game. Now both teams just absolutely went out there and like beat the bricks off the teams they played
Sure.
like last week. Like either one of them.
I guess this is finally the most exciting matchup, though, because of Bosa versus Jackson. That's what I want to see.
It brings us back to when they both had the Harbaughs, so the Harbaugh Bowl when they played in the Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
That was such an awesome Super Bowl. Of course, the Ravens ended up winning that.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Harbaugh's a great coach.
Yep.
It's just everyone talks about it, but his brother always got all the praise, and now he's like the man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I love it. I don't think Lamar Jackson's cooling off anytime soon.
No.
Kyle Shanahan doesn't coach defense, so he's not going to come up with a game plan on how to stop him. Or maybe he does help with that. I don't know. But I think this will be a good game. It's a game anyone could easily be wrong on. But I'm going to take Baltimore until they prove me wrong.
Well, it's Baltimore at home.
Baltimore at home. And I mean, do we really see San Francisco going 11-1? It's just hard to picture no matter how good they are.
Especially against the Ravens.
But I know a lot of people are saying potential Super Bowl matchup in this. And
That'd be cool.
it's always nice to get a preview in the regular season.
It is. Rams at the Cardinals. Boy, this was... I actually took this one for my upset. I am taking the Cardinals on the at home.
Finally, we took a different team from
Yeah.
each other. I took the Rams. I just feel like they are bad this year. And the Cardinals can win at home.
Sure.
I just think I don't see Kirk getting open against that defense. I feel like he's going to get completely shut out. So the number one wide receiver is going to be gone. Now, they've had a great running game this season at times. I don't really know what happened to Kyler Murray over the last few weeks. We kind of just stopped talking about him. So it makes me feel like he's not really doing anything all that special.
Right.
The Rams, they were in the damn Super Bowl last year. You know what I mean?
I know.
What happened to them?
I know.
But this could be like the Cowboys game yesterday. After the game, we go, hey, the Rams are as bad as we thought they were.
Yeah. Well, if the Rams lose this game, then they're done.
But I'm still taking the Rams.
Yeah. Chargers at the Broncos. This could also be toilet bowl of the game of the week. I mean,
Could also be an upset.
could also be an upset. I am taking the Broncos at home, but I don't know why. I think they're at home.
Right. And they've looked a little better. Listen, besides for maybe the Lions, no one's had more tough losses than the Broncos. They're right there every week against a lot higher competition than what we think they are.
Right.
They're playing a lot of teams and barely losing. But I think this is that again because the Chargers is the same situation. I think the Chargers can't, like, how many games can Philip fuck up?
The Chargers have really made me sad this year.
If the Chargers were smart, they'd play Tyrod Taylor tomorrow and win a game. Because if Tyrod played last week, they won that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's time for Uncle Phil to call it.
I love him. I always love
I
him.
do, same here, but it might be time. We've seen it
He's
now.
due. That team's too good to be 4-7,
It's
and it's your fault.
if they were gonna do it, it should have been last year.
Right.
They didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
It's just that team's too. Hunter Henry, last year Melvin Gordon squandered. Uncle Keenan Allen, that defense, man, it's crappy that Phillip Rivers has squandered it. That being said, they're that good still talent-wise. I'm taking them. Phillip has to learn from those interception mistakes. Has to.
Chiefs are hosting the Raiders.
And they're going to be a bad host.
Yeah. The Chiefs
'Cause
are
they're
hosting
gonna
the
do
Raiders, and they're going to do
whatever
whatever they want. I really do think they are going to just throttle
Oh,
them.
they're going to fuck
Chiefs. Chiefs at home.
I actually think that we'll get a little bit of a bounce back from the Raiders because they're probably embarrassed after last week. It went from all of a sudden thinking that Gruden and Carr worked really well together, how I felt all season, to now being like, oh, Carr's playing for his job now.
Yeah.
These next couple games are an audition for Derek Carr.
Yeah.
They really, he's going to have to come out and perform. I think he will, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Chiefs are about to start a hot streak, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
And they're going to go into the playoffs, and they're going to do whatever they want. They're going to fuck them.
All right. Chiefs. Patriots are going to Houston to
This
play
is a
the
hard game.
Texans.
This is a
This
hard
actually is this is a hard game. I have had the Texans selected since yesterday. I want to keep them selected now, but I'm scared because it's still the Patriots. I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna go with Houston on it. I think the defense. So for one thing, I like Houston's defense, and the Patriots' offense isn't great. It's just the problem is the Patriots' defense is great, and Houston's offense is, Deshaun Watson is so good.
The big thing is that we've already figured this out, but Bill Belichick does bad against mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He does bad against them. And here's another one. But maybe he takes the Lamar Jackson game, learns from it a little bit.
I think it's too bad that Watt's out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt that way all year.
I like those Watt guys.
They're good guys.
I like TJ. I like JJ.
I like the Watts more than the Bosa's.
I don't like the Bosa's all that much, but they're kind of like. Which Bosa's in San Francisco?
Yeah, he's the one who's the big Trump guy.
Yeah. Fuck him. I like the Watts.
We're not here to get political, but he can go fuck himself.
Oh, if he was for anyone really, just hardcore, I'd be like, fuck him. I don't. Keep your politics out of it, you weirdo.
I'm trying to watch some sack ball.
I'm trying to watch some football, man.
I'm trying to watch some peoples get sacked, and that's what you're out there to do.
I'm gonna take Houston at home on this one. As my other upset, I guess. Let's just say between this one and my other upset, this will be the one I don't go change minutes before the game. The other one I might.
I have a rule where if the away team is more than a -3, I always take them. Because Vegas knows what they're talking about with away games. Like, the only reason they even have the spread close is because Houston is at home.
Right.
So because they know something that I don't know about sports, I'm going to say Patriots win on the road. I also am hoping that we get N'Keal Harry and a healthy Mohamed Sanu tomorrow. Maybe some James White action. And then I will say this. Deshaun Watson's scrambling quarterback mixed with, it looks like Will Fuller is healthy now too, so that entire wide receiving core is going to be a lot to handle for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Because, they have the best corner in football, but he can't guard all of them. So Will Fuller's going to get hit deep a couple times. I'm going to take the Patriots, but I almost just scared myself out of it in the middle of that.
All right.
It's going to be a good game.
And that's the Sunday night game too. That should be actually a really good game. That should actually rival the Niners and Ravens game.
As far as quality, yeah.
As far as quality, they should both be really good games.
But I will say as much because that Dallas Patriots game was one of the most watched games ever, regular season games ever. I will say that for as excited as we all get about Patriots games, they're kind of boring to watch.
Yeah.
They put up, ever since last year's Super Bowl, all they've done is every time they're in prime time now, it's just not a fun game.
Yeah.
There's nothing fun about the way they play.
Nah, if you don't have Pat Mahomes or Jackson in it, I don't really give a shit about that prime game.
No, it's like, but the thing is,
or Watson.
The Patriots win ugly, and it's not fun to watch people win ugly. So Kind of why no one liked the Spurs back in the day except for me, because everyone's like, yeah, but where's the Flash? And I'm like, I don't know, but we have the championships.
Man, I like that. I like that fundamental though.
Ah,
I mean, of course, that rivaled my Suns
right,
at the time because they were all. I mean,
Right.
the Suns were all offense,
right,
no defense.
right, and they just beat people with fundamentals on both
Right.
sides of the ball.
And finally, for Monday night, we got the Vikings and the Seahawks. Man, if you told me week 1 that we'd be talking about this game, that I'd be really excited about it, I would tell you that you're a lying liar who lies. But I actually think this could be a really fun game.
Yeah, what's up, lie guy?
Man, the Seahawks and the Vikings. Wow. Also, I had a hard time choosing between these two teams.
Right,
The Vikings have been absolutely not who I thought they were.
right. But neither of the Seahawks, because I don't think either of us gave the Seahawks that much of a chance with.
No, we didn't. Man, Kirk Cousins is he's the guy. I was wrong on it for now. I was wrong on it for now. You know, he had the week where he did the apology stuff, but he's looked great since then. I don't know if mentally he's set off differently now. He's working well with that team, though. That said, it's in Seattle. Their home record is not as good as it normally is.
Right, both of their 2 losses are at home. I don't see them getting 3, though.
I took the Seahawks at home. I think the Seahawks they're obviously going to win their division. I think they'll also.
No, the Niners win their division.
I don't know, but they'll wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I meant. So the Seahawks will wild card in. I think the Seahawks they'll piss some people off and they'll win that first wild card round. Man,
Right.
that's where the Seahawks look good though. Is that wild card? It's
Right.
actually listen, you Seahawks fans. It's better for you if you're in that wild card round, honestly, because it's not just you as fans that have that little chip on your shoulder. It's that team too, man. They go out and they win that stupid wild card game and piss me off every time they do it. This is a good spot for you. This is a nice little spot for you as a Seahawks fan, is to not be winning the division.
Well, you know, and actually I said they won't win the division, but if they win this week and the 49ers lose to Baltimore like we said they will,
Yeah,
then they're tied. So they can still win this division.
yeah, they can. They won't though.
They won't, though. That makes me want to pick Minnesota just to really lock that in, because I think this game is the 2 wild card teams this year. Because I think Minnesota does lose it, and so the
Yeah.
Packers win their division. So Minnesota probably only goes in the playoffs with like 5 losses. We're gonna have an 11-5, maybe 2.
And what I'm telling you right now is if it's the Seahawks and the Vikings for that wild card round, that Seahawks will win that game.
Well, no, they'll be the 2 wild card teams, which means they'll play the 2 division leaders.
Oh,
with
right.
the worst records.
That's right.
So yeah,
It's not like baseball.
No. So what'll happen is, how's this gonna go right now? What'll happen is the winner of the better record between these 2 teams, so the Seahawks get the better wild card spot, they'll go against like the Eagles because they won their division, or the Cowboys, whoever wins the division.
The
there.
Seahawks will be whoever that team is.
Exactly, for sure. And
And it's
then,
going to make so many people mad.
but then here's what would be really interesting. Then that
Including-
would actually put the Vikings up against the Packers right now. If we were talking about right now, if they lose this game, they would be lined up against the Packers. So they'd play the Packers for the 3rd time in the year in the wild card round.
That'd be fun.
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Okay. Who are you taking in this one?
Oh, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going against everything I believe in. So normally on a Monday night game, it's the opposite of what I just said about the Patriots. If the home team is only a -3, I feel like they only got that -3 because they are the home team. They are not the better team. So I usually take the away team as it's not even really an upset to me in that. A -3 at home is not an upset to me. So
I'm going to have you teach me your voodoo math.
yeah. So I like the Vikings in this situation. I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a big game, but I actually see Kirk Cousins choking in primetime. So that's the reason
Oh,
I'm
sure.
going with. I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to have a big Monday night. And I'm going to
Russell Wilson is
And Russell loves
so
that.
good.
He's going to drink it in, baby.
God. He's a Hall of Famer, right?
He's just going to open it up and just drink it in.
That's it. We got through our pick'em. I feel good about it.
I love it.
Feel good. Well, I'm gonna let it start. There we go. Okay. Thank you everybody for listening to the show. Zach, thank you for being up here. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. I hope you enjoyed the show. My hope is now that we've done this show in person, we will be rejuvenated
We'll be back, baby.
to jump back in. No show Saturday.
'Cause we're
Obvi.
here.
This is it.
Hobby dog.
But next Saturday we'll be back. I also, next weekend, I have one paper due, and I'm doing it on Sunday, so I'll be good on Saturday. Good to go. Good to go.
Yeah.
Also, my birthday is coming up soon, so one of these Saturdays we'll have a birthday show.
Ooh, I love it.
I think I work a little bit that morning,
Right.
but I'll be run home and we'll do a show. It'll be awesome.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Birthday show. All right, everybody.
Oh.
Thank you. You have a great weekend. Have a good rest of your Thanksgiving break if you're a youngin'. And go Warriors.
Smell you later. I say that now. I say smell you later.
I like that. It's fun. I've never heard it before.
No, it's completely original. I just made it up.
You just made it up. I thought you did.
Yeah.